Welcome to Around the Reel with Aaron and Chuck. Please listen to them so I don't have to.
When I see you
I didn't
smile,
say sing. I just said we're live.
I can face the... Oh, you know I can do anything when I see you smile, baby. Baby, when I see you smile at me. Heard that song on the way in.
Good, because I ain't gonna smile.
It's good. That's a good song. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, Aaron.
How are you today?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a good day to talk.
It's always a good day to talk.
We know. We talk every day.
Every fucking day.
Yeah.
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 Isn't it weird when you get a song in your head, like in the morning, or if you just wake up? Like I heard that song, and it's been echoing in my head since we've been over here today.
Right.
And I can't get it out. I think they call that it earworm. That's what it is.
Earworm.
It's an earworm.
Okay. We were talking about that the other day too.
Were we?
Yeah.
Or just songs in general?
Songs in general and,
Yeah.
and things that get stuck in your head and the weirdest thing where they come from, whether it comes from a movie or just a memory or...
Right.
Yeah.
It's an earworm or where there's a negative quality to it, I guess people say, because it means you have anxiety or something about something. So you know how people find a negative in everything.
Of course.
When I wake up and I hear a song in my head, I feel good. I just don't know why the fuck it's in my head, right? But I don't know. It just got in my brain.
So you heard that song this morning or you didn't?
No, we heard it on the way over, driving
okay.
to the session here.
Now did you listen to the song all the way through?
Yeah.
Because I've always found that if I actually stop and find the song and listen to it all the way through, it gets it out of my head.
Oh. Well, not me. It's still in my head. Like right now. I'm looking at Sam. Sam's here with us, ladies and gentlemen. Samantha Hanna is in our studio, and she's sitting here watching us perform. We'd have her on, but we only have 2 mics still.
Yes.
Why don't we have 3 mics, Chuck?
Well, we've ordered all the new equipment to come in, and it won't arrive until Monday. But we're not going to hold back and wait until everything comes in.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and keep talking because that's what we do. We like to talk every day.
Every day. But we would have had more mics, huh? Yeah, we would have had more mics. You forgot your coffee?
I don't know. Did I bring my coffee?
I don't know.
I don't want to turn around and rip anything off the table. Is there coffee up there?
Yeah, there's a coffee cup behind you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get my coffee. Hang
Yeah,
on.
get your coffee. Well, guys, thanks for listening again to the show. The first podcast was a lot of fun that we did, and we're on our second episode here. And we got some topics for, filmmakers out there, first of all, that we're going to kind of hit now and then. And more than likely, we'll end up down some strange paths like we always do.
The rabbit holes.
Yeah. So, anybody out there that's been, you're making a lot of fucking noise with that coffee cup. Jesus
We
Christ.
forgot to bring up some paper towels with us today.
Why, did you spill?
No, but it will soften it when you put it down.
So you're gentle. You like to be gentle. You just don't jump in there and start tearing shit up. You like to ease in, is what you're saying.
If I'm getting paid for it, I'll jump in and tear it up. However, I do try to ease my way in if it's,
What are we talking about right now?
I don't know. I thought you were talking about coffee.
Every time you start talking in that voice, I think you're talking about something else all of a sudden. So filmmakers. We made a movie, and a lot of people out there have watched it, and it's on Amazon Prime. It was called The Outrider.
Yeah.
It still is called The Outrider. It was The Outrider. It still is, because we didn't change the title since it's come out, right? But we wanted to discuss filmmaking on a micro budget a little bit, and the process that we had to go through to create that film, and kind of thinking outside the box again when you're making stuff like that, because when you don't have that type of funding to do certain things that you envision, it takes some creativity.
Yes.
So and Chuck jumped on board as a producer this time to really help out with a majority of the production. So how'd that go for you, Chuck?
Oh, that was fun. Luckily, as we talked about last week, I am one person who's not afraid to actually, get in there and work, and being like the carpenter that I was, I've been able to take on side jobs. So that was one of the first things we were able to do, is to buy a better camera. So that's what entitled me to create the role of producers. Hey, Aaron, here's a camera. Let's go make your movie now.
It wasn't 480p DV tapes. It was actually a fucking HD camera.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I mean, still, don't get us wrong. It wasn't the top of the line. We were still on a micro budget, but it was the next step.
Well, how much did we spend on that camera? Tell everybody.
I think we got it when it came out, I think it was it was on sale, so it was just over $500 with that and the little setup that it came with, which was just basically an extra the lens, a case to carry it so we don't damage it.
How many lenses did we have?
Just the one.
One lens that came with it, right?
Yeah. Luckily, it was a good wide variety lens.
Yeah, and that's what's ironic about making a micro budget film, because you'll see a lot of people out there that are wanting to make a movie that don't allow themselves to do it because they don't have all those lenses and don't have that camera that they specifically want, or the software they need, or the audio gear they want and all that shit.
Yeah,
but I mean, isn't there a time when you just say fuck it and go for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are that time.
Okay. Yeah. So you can tell everybody else to kiss your ass, right?
Right.
If they don't like the production, if they talk shit about it, because you know what you put into it.
Exactly.
They have no fucking idea. So I'm a little sarcastic today, like I said. So.
A little sarcastic, maybe a little cynical.
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're keeping it real. It's the real.
That's right.
Yeah, around the real,
keeping it real, doing everything we can to be as real as possible.
So, as a producer working on a project with zero budget, and you have someone with a vision like myself that was throwing out all these crazy ideas, how do you handle that as a production guy? Like, if I'm saying I want to make this dude start flying. Oh shit! Sorry, hit the mic then. If you're trying, if you're up there and you got some, I'm like, I want this guy up in the air, fucking flying, and he's got these guns and he's shooting all this stuff, and I see all these, hundreds of people coming at him, and it's like this super heroic kind of thing, and we ain't got no money, and the inability to actually pull that off visually because I'm average at After Effects, but I still have it in my, my head.
Right.
So I say all that stuff to you, and then you're a producer like. Yeah.
The good thing is when it came to that, because we do have a scene kind of like that in the movie, maybe not the hundreds of people, but as far as the flying part, we know that we could go as we went. So we had time to try and figure out everything we did. And for that instance, we didn't have a giant warehouse studio to be able to set up the proper rigging with all the piano wire and all that kind of stuff. But we did have an opportunity to have friends who have things that we could use. So we had friends who had owned a gym, Waypoint CrossFit. I'm going to give them a quick plug because they were awesome to let us use their stuff.
Yes, they were. They still are.
Now they're Waypoint Fit & Co.
Okay. And that's where? Out here in Gig Harbor?
That's here in the Gig Harbor Purdy area.
Okay. Washington State people.
Hopefully that Purdy wasn't too plosive.
I don't know.
I can't tell either.
Yeah, we don't have the pop filters yet.
Monday.
Someone forgot to hit record, or not record on, order.
They'll be here on Monday.
Okay, fine. That's good.
Next week's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it should sound good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it sounds okay now, but, maybe it's not about how it really sounds. It's about the content. Like, are we fucking interesting enough for people to listen to? Maybe that's kind of important too, right?
Well, if they're through the first episode and this far into the second episode, I'm going to guess that there's something that's intriguing about us.
Well, I hope so. I'm having fun doing this. I just want people to have fun too listening.
Exactly.
That's it.
So back to micro budgeting.
Yes.
One of the things, aside from you flying, going back to you flying through the air, and after we gave our nice little plug to our friends at Waypoint, the biggest thing was actually being able to use one of their outdoor rigs and positioning. So, we were able to use an outdoor rope rig that they had. We used a regular style of a fall restraint harness that I had for my construction job and tied you up and hung you up to dry.
Yeah, strung me up. So I guess the other question then is, how did we come up with that idea without having any money? We did what? We just talked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just talk. We talk it through, and we keep thinking about it. So I think communicating with your team is vital when you don't have a script the funding to do what you want to do. But also, even if you had the funding, I think if you lay that foundation early, you're going to be in good shape, because if you've got that kind of communication with your crew, you're going to do amazing things. You surprise yourself. So,
well, I mean, not only that, but also just watching other things. I mean, you can see how they do it with all the big budgets,
right?
And everything is just higher tensile strength and smaller resolve. But we could do it too. It just takes more editing,
right? Yeah, which we're not. I mean, we're good at it, but we're not exceptional at it. I mean, we're like jack of all trades. We know how to do everything a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's important too for people. So when you don't have a budget and you can't hire people that are super good at some of these, techniques or traits or what they are, really educated to do better than we are. It's not a bad thing to get out there and learn as many things as you can and, get your feet wet. And then you'll kind of decide where you're at and what your interests are and what your strengths are and your weaknesses. And you got to find somebody you're compatible with, or a crew of people that you're compatible with who, take up those areas that you're not so good at.
Right.
Right. And you can do that without money.
Yes.
You just got to know some nice people.
Nice people and talking to people. And even for us, I mean, for some of the things that we learned how to do, it was just a matter of talking to people who were in the industry.
Right.
And, getting enough of information from them that they were willing to share with it before they started, wanting to give you an estimate for how much they would charge us for doing things.
Right, right. But there's also a lot of like DIY stuff.
Yeah.
That we stumbled on online. So when you're researching how to do things, always go online and just type something in. And I'm sure everybody out there who's creating something can do that. YouTube is a cesspool of information. So I don't know why I use cesspool.
It's your cynical side today. That's absolutely true. I mean, some of the first rigs that I made when we were getting ready to get started, I did a hand rig, a double arm rig, and all these different things out of PVC, and I learned it from our buddies over at Filmright.
Yeah, Ryan Conley stuff.
Ryan Conley with all of his tutorials on the DIY stuff, and that was awesome.
Yeah, it's still awesome.
Yeah,
and he still caters to filmmakers no matter what level you're on, and that's what's cool about his show. So another plug for Filmright, because I think those guys really kick ass and always have at what they do. And watching them grow from where they were reminded us of kind of how we started in the same way. You go back and look at their early shit 10 years ago, it was no different than what we were doing.
Right.
They just really didn't have breaks in between. They kept pushing like every day, where we had moments when we didn't do anything, which is unfortunate, but we see that now, right?
Right. I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, we had a 5-year break.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, we made our own little off everything movie, The Con, and that was it. I mean, there was a 5-year break in between from when we started filming to when we finished the movie. And that was a big lull for anybody trying to do something to grow and become better at what you're doing. So,
right.
It's just a matter of getting back on track. And now that we're back on track, now we're trying to get our hands into everything.
Right.
Movie making, podcasting.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. There's so much out there for people to pay attention to, that they can learn from. And I don't think that one avenue, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube video or, a DIY or just reading up on stuff, any of those things can be helpful. So I think any creatives out there doing whatever they like needs to do that research and pick up on those little nuggets of information that are out there for everybody. So please do that, especially if you don't have that money, because, don't let the lack of funds stop you from trying to create something. I just don't think that's the way to go.
No, not at all.
I mean, stupid.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to the point where you have once you have your story, tell your story. If you can't tell your story as big as it is, find a smaller version of that story to tell, so that way you can still do it. I mean,
Right.
I mean, one of the ones I always refer to is Signs.
Okay.
Signs is an awesome, amazing alien invasion movie,
Absolutely.
just through the eyes of a old Reverend farmer.
Yep. Stuck on a farm.
Yeah.
But it felt like the aliens were everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. You could tell the whole world was just getting hit by aliens by very simply showing it on the television and our radio.
Exactly.
That was it. Yeah, they did a great job on that. I mean, that's the point. That's thinking outside the box. That's really putting your creative juices in the right spots and moving forward. That's a great example. Yeah. That movie's awesome. So when we were doing Outrider stuff, we had a lot of times where we were location scouting, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we had to find locations, and that whether or not we could pay for those things or not wasn't how at least I went about it. I was looking at more or less by just getting over the fear of asking for permission to film there. So what do you think the experience was, and how did that go for us? What's your take on it?
I think the biggest thing was the first eye-opening experience was realizing that you can actually, don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to ask for stuff. If you get, 15 no's and one says yes, you have what you want.
Right.
Don't be afraid to talk to get the no's, to get the yes. But the nice thing is it wasn't always so much that we got the no's. It was just a matter of the fact it wasn't, it wouldn't work for them. Like, for the Outrider, we were looking for a church.
Right.
And, we wanted to do all these we had all these ideas for what we want to try and do inside of a church. Well, some of the things involving our script was things that some churches weren't comfortable with, or the aspect of what we might do as a production team,
Right.
what might happen at the church while we were filming.
So you're saying that because I wanted to shoot a lot of people in a church, they probably said no.
Well, it wasn't just the idea of shooting all the people. It was probably also the dialogue that went with some of the characters that was being said inside the church, which I think is one of the things that they would have frowned upon.
So if there was no foul language in the scene that we wanted to shoot at the church, you think the church would have done it?
Possibly. I mean, if you think about it, if we went in there, if we went to that same church and we were shooting a different style movie, and we had, say, we were shooting a wedding in a church, the church would probably be all, sure, yeah, come on in. We'd love to have you and have the experience. Would you mind using the name of the church in the movie so it's a cheap plug and all that kind of stuff?
Right. Have you ever been to a wedding in a church?
Well, yes. I'm sorry. I actually had to think for a second. My first wedding, actually, to my first wife was in a church.
Have you ever gone to someone else's wedding in a church?
Let's see. You
It's
didn't
a simple yes or no.
You didn't get married in a church. Well, it was a chapel, but it was in a church. And the second time was outside. The third time, I've lost track.
What I'm saying.
In general, yes, many times.
Okay, so have you ever, when you were at those weddings, at those churches, have you ever said any bad words while you were there?
Well, yeah, I was younger. I didn't want to frickin' be there.
Okay, so you've said some foul language in a church without them knowing, right?
Yes.
So I never sent the screenplay to the Outrider to any of those churches.
Really?
No, they didn't read anything. They had no idea I was going to say bad words. They asked me what the pitch was, what the story was about. I told them it was a battle against good and evil, and the church is going to signify the hope that we needed.
Right.
But, there would be some small action that was involved in the scene. They asked me what kind of action. I said, well, there's a couple fight scenes, but nothing major. They said they'd get back to me. Never did. So was it the fight scenes or was it the curses? Because they didn't know we were going to fucking cuss.
I'm going to go with the fact that they were probably just nervous about the idea of the liability of what could happen inside during a production.
That's a nice way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, in the bottom line of things, as far as a business, a church is a business.
Right. It is. Yep. I know they got a PPP loans and everything. Yeah, they got a lot of money from. Yeah. That's another story. I guess what I was trying to get at is The Exorcist back in the day did not have church scenes that were vulgar, right?
Correct.
But as far as content goes, it was pretty ahead of its time as far as vulgarity, right?
Yes.
Catholic Church didn't seem to have a problem being in that movie. Why?
Well, now I have to think back really hard, but because I'm thinking of the 2 or 3 scenes that I can think of in The Exorcist where the actual filming of at the church is actually in the courtyard. It's not actually inside the church.
Wasn't the what's his name in there a few times? Well, he was in confession. I guess I could have been in the studio. They probably could have done that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe they did what we did. They just stole shots from the outside of the church. They needed.
They didn't steal. We didn't steal shots from the outside of the church. We
Yeah.
just used the exterior grounds
Without them knowing we were there.
Well,
Yeah. Look, kind of like I was like, well, they don't know we're cussing, so they won't know we're here anyway if we need to film. So, fuck them. We're gonna do it anyway. How do we get on that subject? Oh, location scouting.
Yes, location scouting. And then the idea of, and the same thing with the church. I mean, another great example for us is we chose to change everything up and stick to the exterior of the church because we had an exterior of a church that we liked better than the possible church that we could have rented the space because it was owned by a private company.
Right.
So that would be a really good low budget option because I think the church rental would have been, I think it was going to be like $600 for the 2 shoots that we would have had to have done. At
the minimum.
Yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't have been horrible.
Right.
But for everything that we would have done and also making sure, working on a micro budget and working with the people that we have to work with and making sure everybody shows up when they would have needed to show up, it's really hard to try and, when you're paying for it, to make sure that everybody's going to show up.
Yeah.
It's always the fear as far as, when you're really budget conscious like we were.
Right. And we were still learning, too, about scheduling. So
exactly.
We didn't really know how long things were going to take us. And I don't think anybody really does. They act like they do, but I don't think they do because there's so many things that can happen that you can't predict.
True.
So, which can throw off your whole day.
And that's why extras are, they pull them up on set and they're like, okay, you're going to be an extra in the movie, but you're there for 8 hours and you don't know if you're going to be working for just 2 of that. But you have to be available for every time they need an extra pulled in.
Every time you need an extra, right. So I guess the point of what we're trying to get to is the asking, right?
Yeah.
So making sure to not stop yourself from reaching out to those people that own those specific spots that you want to shoot at. there's nothing wrong with calling somebody, emailing somebody, and asking them, hey, I'm filming a movie. I would really love your location. Can we talk about what I'm trying to do and see if that would work for you? Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. All they can do is say what? No. That's it.
And look what happened with us. I mean, here it was. We shot inside of an actual true police station.
Yeah.
Because of an email I sent to the chief of police.
Yeah. And they knew the director was black, and they still let us in there. Yeah, and they treated me like a person, too. That was kind of cool of them.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
But that just goes back to people that you know and stuff, too. I mean, that all worked out because I had a friend who was and was a sergeant with the force.
Right.
And so he said, that never hurts to ask. He's like, what would you like to use? And he walked us through the whole precinct. He's like, you might be able to use this area. You might be able to use that area. Just, send him a message and see what he says. And his first response was yes.
Yeah, but you did have a warm lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that.
True.
So having a warm lead helps. Like, you know this, and you got a friend who is actually a sergeant. So you had a way to communicate to him, to feel it out before you actually sent that email to the big captain guy or whoever, right?
Yeah, but that's just paying attention to who your friends are. I mean,
whoa. Okay.
Forgive us a second. Apparently my wife is home and the dogs,
Yeah.
These microphones are great. They picked up the dogs yelling downstairs.
Yeah, I thought that was you for a second. Like, Jesus Christ.
Aaron, so much for that good relationship with the police. Looks like the dogs are coming.
Yeah, well, I am in the harbor still, so I got to keep an eye out. Sam, you got my back?
No.
Well, at least you responded.
Thanks, honey. Love you. Okay, so, but we were able to get locations.
Yes, exactly.
And not every place that we used, actually we did. We knew people at those places. And even if you don't have somebody who at least in a sort of just friendly way, to give you that bridge to those people who you need to ask. I still don't think it's a bad idea to reach out to people you don't know.
No,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? You should call them. Don't let that stop you, because you'd be surprised how excited people can be when you tell them you're making a movie. They'll want to be engaged. They want to be a part of it, because they don't get that every day. You know what I mean? It's an exciting thing. So even after you make a movie and you tell people you made a movie, you see how they respond. Most of them are like, holy shit, you made a movie? Yeah. What's the movie about?
Right.
And you're like, oh, it's about this. And they're like, holy shit. That's cool, right? They're the same way with location.
Right.
You got to read the people.
Well, yeah, I mean, Amber and I went to somebody's house for somebody who was moving away, going out of town. And, the first time I met this guy, I was like, man, this is a wonderful place. And I looked over at Amber. I was like, you think you'd let me film here?
Right.
Because it's on the water. It's wide open. It's not like a whole bunch of fences or, trees and everything in the way. It's just wide open straight to the water. And I was like, man, this would be really nice for an opening shot of a movie or something like that. And she was like, I guarantee you, if you ask him, he say yes.
Right.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's as protective about their stuff. And he was like, no, he's so excited about the idea that you make movies.
Right.
Okay.
Well, how much did we spend making the Outrider? What was I always tell people it was $2,000 to make that movie.
As far as getting through production, it was a little over that. It ended up being about $2,600 for out-of-pocket expenses.
Okay.
Now, the other thing to remember, too, when you are putting a value on your movie, and it's different when you're doing everything yourself like we did. I mean, everything we do is you and me. The important thing to remember, though, is there is a monetary value to what you do with your time when you're making the movie. And that's when people come back with, the movie cost X amount of dollars to make.
Right. Because we didn't pay ourselves to make that.
Exactly.
Right.
So just for all the gear and for all the things that we did, and not having to actually pay for any of the locations that we had originally thought we were going to budget into, we thought we would be upwards of probably $4,000 if we would have ended up paying for some of those locations.
Right.
But since we chose to go a different route, we were able to save some of that. So on the actual production just costs straight between buying the camera. I mean, that includes the camera, that includes the beautiful shotgun microphone that you are currently using,
right.
And the blimp to try and cut down some of those plosives that we had last week.
Right.
From the first episode.
Yeah.
Until the new mics come in. So
yeah.
That
you ordered.
Yeah, I did order. I did order.
Yeah, it's good.
But no, everything. For everything that we've purchased and everything that we use, and that's just it. Remember, everything that you buy is, take care of it as you buy it. Use it for the next project. It's one less thing to buy it, and then you just increase and you step up.
Right.
Like the recorder that I'm talking into. We're using the Zoom 6 for part of our podcasting now, for just to be able to talk into.
Right.
And then next week when we have our new mics, this will just act as a recorder instead of a microphone also.
Absolutely. And that's how you do it. But that's being creative. So whenever you don't have things that you think you need, if you communicate with others, if you reach out to people and collaborate, is what you're saying.
Yep.
You can probably come up with a solution to tell that story somehow, some way. And that's the creative part of it. So sometimes I think that having too much money to do stuff, I'd be scared to use it. I'd be thinking to myself, we don't have to spend this money. We can do this or that and not have to touch that money. So imagine, what would it be like to have a budget of like $100,000 to make an indie film?
Well, that's where when we get to that point, that's when you realize that it's time to start paying us for our time, because our time is that valuable. Because
Okay.
if somebody is going to be investing in us to give us that money to create that production, the movie, whatever we're doing, then that's it. I mean, we now have value to our
Right.
time,
Okay.
and that value comes, at a monetary, cost. So
Right.
whether it be X amount of dollars per minute if you're editing, on set.
I'm pretty expensive. Yeah, you got to pay me.
Now he wants to get paid.
Oh, fuck yeah. Pay me. Shit.
But still, I mean, so say our on set and our production costs of everything, say we only run around $25,000 because there's certain things in this production that we just have to have, or spaces we have to rent out. Eventually, we're going to get to the point to where we are going to have to rent out a warehouse and do what we need to do to create some type of a studio, because no matter how much we want to, people don't like it when they blow stuff up. I mean, granted, for our next film, I just bought a house and remodeled it to fit the scene we're going to have for most of the movie.
Right.
But we can't do that every time.
Right. Are you counting that as your budget in the movie? The next one we do, Say Goodbye, by the way?
I don't know if I'm going to count it as the budget, but I'm going to definitely try and use it as a tax write-off.
You're going to put it in the budget as cost, though.
Correct.
Okay. All
For
right.
everything that we did there to open up everything.
Well, that's like killing two birds.
Why are you killing birds?
Two birds.
Okay, fine.
Not birds, just two.
Just the two birds.
Yeah, just two. Three is like birds.
Okay.
Two is just two. Yeah, that's another boom. I don't know what's going on down there.
They're unloading, for anyone who can hear the background noises coming through on our wonderful microphones, it is the family coming in with groceries and everything. So.
Oh, good. Good. Well, yeah, that's nice.
Well, we did say we were going to make this
a real show.
As real as possible,
This is it.
and whatever you hear, we will explain, since we're not on video yet.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, if we're on video, you see me leaning over to the left and seeing, peeking through the windows, be like, who's here?
Right. Yeah. Well, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Okay, so that's micro budgeting in a way, really putting all your effort into, I believe, collaborating and networking, and not being afraid to ask for things, because you'd be surprised what you can get for no money. It's not going to cost you anything if you reach out and do that, besides, like Chuck was talking about, with the time and not paying yourself. But if you love to do it, I mean, it's about doing it because it's fun. I love creating these things. I love writing these stories. I love acting in them now, which I didn't before. It's just a whole thing. It's great. So you don't have to pay me to do something. We were making movies without even thinking about distributing them anyway.
Right.
And I didn't even realize what we were trying to learn until later. I didn't go, I'm going to make this short little movie with the kids because I want to learn how to do this effect. I didn't think that way.
Right.
No, I just wanted to make those movies because they were funny.
And then how do I make this look good?
Right, yeah, and then we would learn, right? But then you look back on it, you're like, holy shit, I was teaching myself that entire time, and I didn't even know it.
Right.
And that's what you got to do. And you do the same thing when you're out there calling people or finding a location or trying to figure out a solution to something because you don't know how to do it. You just got to think. That's what I think.
Think, talk, collaborate.
Yeah. You think people can still think?
I don't want to jump down that rabbit hole again right away.
Oh, yeah, we did. Okay.
We did that last week and like crazy.
Oh, no, that's fun though.
But no, the other thing too, I mean,
shit,
like
sorry.
you said, right now you don't want to jump, you don't want to sit here and worry about how much money you're going to make, but the whole idea is to eventually get to the point to where this is your job, where you are making money doing what you're doing. But you realize now, until people actually know who we are and what we're doing, we don't have that big monetary value behind what we're doing. So it is fun. It is something it's creative. It's something it's a release for your creative mind from whatever else you're doing from your day to day, going back to last week. So yeah, but eventually, yes, the whole idea would be to so I'm gonna shoot and direct and edit this movie, and so yeah, that will be $100,000 in that year for you to be able to do that because of the fact of what it's going to entail to be able to get all that done.
Sure.
So
Makes
eventually we will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. So then let's say you make that micro budget film and you're proud of yourself and you make it. but you want to get it out there in the world. So then you're talking about marketing, and then you're also talking about distribution.
Right.
Right. So if you didn't have money to make the movie, I'm pretty sure you're not going to have money to market the movie, right?
Well, that's where our wonderful friend social media can come in, right?
That's right. Our buddy. That connects us
all around the world.
Yes, it does.
To one another.
So when we were doing the Outrider, we decided to start kind of doing, I wouldn't say daily. I might have done it daily, but I really wanted to shove it down everybody's throat.
Excuse me. The proper phrasing. Wow, you are cynical today. The proper phrasing is you wanted to maintain a strong social media campaign.
I think you put some liquor in this coffee today.
Well, you just complained last week, so I want to make it a little bit better for you this time.
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
So yes, a maintained social media campaign is what you accomplished.
That's a good
You
nice
weren't.
way to
You
say
were
it.
not shoving it down people's throats.
Okay.
You make it sound so vicious. And
Maybe I tickled them a little bit daily. Just a nice tickle.
a reminder of what we're doing.
Right. Okay. But we did that from the beginning.
Right.
Right. Before we even started filming the movie.
Correct. In
Yeah.
pre-production.
Right. So when we were able to, get the movie out for distribution, it seemed like to me, and I could be wrong because I don't have any analytics to this, but using Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, those 3 platforms, hashtagging everything, joining filmmaking groups, trying to get that Outrider name out there as much as possible for that entire year before we finished the film and got it on a platform.
Yes.
For some reason, just doing what we did managed to get us a shitload of minutes streamed on Amazon Prime within a couple months and put us on the popular movie list category on that platform, and it's still on there right now, today.
Right.
And we released that in late February.
Mm-hmm.
So on that platform, did that marketing campaign work?
I mean, right now we're going off what we know. We'd have to say yes. I mean, I don't understand all the analytics to everything. Obviously, very popular movies and the blockbusters and everything like that. I don't know how fast their minutes grow, but
Right.
In our 2.5 to 3 months, we were at 1.5 million minutes on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, really quickly.
Yeah, and now unfortunately, I said since unfortunately, fortunately, we went to Film Hub because we were at a point where we kind of plateaued for 2 weeks.
Right.
And so we was like, okay, now we'll go to Film Hub and use them as a distributor for us to go ahead and give it that boost.
Right.
So I don't know if the movie is continuing to rocket up the way it was and why we're still on the popular list, or if it actually took our analytics that we had from what we were doing ourselves before we gave it to Film Hub and connected them together.
Right.
That's the only thing is, when we were self-distributing, we were getting updates
Daily. Well, almost daily. If Amazon wasn't lazy, they could have easily given us analytics every day. But for the most part, they did good. Like
Okay.
it could have been on average 4 or 5 times a week when it seemed to be up to date.
Gotcha.
Or at least lagging maybe a day or two, but nothing bad. But that's something we got to talk about. So don't let me forget. We need to talk about the difference between self-distribution and actually getting a distributor. That's important to do. We can talk about it right now, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, let's just roll right into that right now. I mean, as far as
Amazon Prime is open for filmmakers to upload their projects to distribute across their platform in the United States and in the UK. That is a self-distribution model that they created for filmmakers to get their product out there. Right. And giving you their database of millions of people. That's okay. We'll get you a coaster or something next time. Or bring your dog in here. You can sit on his fucking head. Jesus Christ. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. That Amazon has that available for filmmakers. Their pay scale we'll talk about maybe later or another podcast. However, if you really want to tap into a large base audience, there's nothing wrong with using Amazon Prime. It depends on what you're trying to do with your film, whether it's a short film or a feature, it doesn't matter. They accept them all. If you're trying to get your name out there, if you're trying to build a audience, it's a great platform for that. Now, if you're thinking you're going to get paid well so you can quit your day job, you got another thing coming. But there is still potential there to make something off of your film. But the biggest thing you get out of Amazon is their huge huge database of consumers, right? You're getting in the face of them. So analytically, when you're on that platform, if you're able to push an audience that you've created on your own to that platform and they begin watching your films, that's going to give it a jump in that analytics, right? Especially when they are watching the majority of the movie. That makes a difference too. You know, how long are these consumers staying on the platform? That's what Amazon looks at, which helps you boost, right?
Like being on the popular list is what's helping us.
Right. So that popularity list then branches it off to everybody else out there in the United States and UK that you don't know.
Right.
That can find your movie and stumble across it on the, hey, you watch this, so you might like, boom, and your movie shows up. That's a beautiful thing, you know, especially if you're just starting. So a distribution deal is a different story. There's distributors out there, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. We were lucky enough to at least talk to one that gave us honest feedback on the film, and that's Indie Rights. Okay. And I think that's a really good company to look at if you're thinking about getting distribution. She's very, am I too loud?
Yeah, I think you just, as you're talking, you're getting excited and you're getting into what you're talking about, so you're leaned in a little bit deeper. So I think you're good. Just don't change. We're still good.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Indie Rights is a really good one. I really have a faith in them, and I think that they are open and honest about what they do and how they do it.
Sure.
And Linda Nelson is one of the owners there, and she took time out of her, I'm sure, busy schedule to even have a dialogue with me, who's a nobody, about our movie and why she felt like it may not do as well, and didn't want us as filmmakers to be disheartened by that.
Right.
Not that she didn't say she would not take the movie. She actually agreed that she would take it, but she wanted us to benefit from the project we made in the best way possible, and she used her experience to give us that feedback, right?
Right. And
beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that she said was the fact that, she said that, I can take your movie and I can put it out there, but I don't want you to be disheartened, by what we can do for you by going with this project the way it is right now, because and that's what she told us. She says right now, black and white might not be the highest thing that we can market for you right now,
especially in the United States.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and that worked out. She was straight up and honest, and that's one of the things that we appreciated.
Absolutely. I love it. So we'll be sending our future films there. I have no problem with sending it there because I think that they do a good job, but they do you do need to reach out to them as well, and definitely look up them if you're at a point where you want to distribute your film. Reach out to them because they're very good. However, if you don't want to go that route, there is Film Hub.
Right.
Now, Film Hub is another platform? Is it that earworm still in my head? When I see you smile, I can face the world. Sam, I can face the world, girl.
At least you're smiling.
Anyway, Film Hub.
Yes.
Another kind of like self-distribution site. However, they are connected to all the platforms.
Right.
So, what we ended up doing was uploading Outrider at that point to them after we did our run by ourselves, which unlocked more territories.
Yes.
By using them. That's the advantage. Now, money-wise, again, you're still going to get paid from the platform, how they pay on the pay scale. And we'll go into that another time. But, it's 20% off whatever your gross is.
Right.
That Film Hub would take. But it's no cost out of your pocket.
Right.
None of that is. So it gives you an opportunity to get your film even to more areas. Now we're, pretty much worldwide in all English-speaking territories.
Yes.
That's way better in the U.S. and UK. Maybe someone in Uganda that can speak English will watch the Outrider and think that shit's legit.
Right.
Right? And what if we blew up in Uganda?
That'd be great.
I don't even know where that's at, by the way. Where the fuck is Uganda?
It's on another continent.
Yeah, but which one, smarty pants?
It's in Africa.
Is it in Africa?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't fucking know. Sam, where's Uganda?
It's in Africa.
Oh, that's no joke. All right, Chuck, good job.
Thanks.
See? And that's my heritage, So much I know.
So, but going back to Film Hub, so unlike some of these other distributors, are they doing anything to promote our movie to where they're going to take more money from us before we see any?
No. Film Hub wouldn't do that. No, it's still on you. It's still self-distribution. So it's no money out of your pocket, but you definitely have to still be the voice for your project. I mean, no one else is going to do that. Now, you can hire other companies if you have money to market that product. No different if you're selling, a stencil or, apple trees. I mean, it doesn't matter. Right. So, but definitely if you don't have money, what are you going to do? Well, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what's a Snapchatter, TikToker? What What else they got? There's people are using your Sam. What's that one spot you go to? It's not Reddit. It's the other one. What's the one where you look at all the stuff people make and stuff?
Etsy?
Not Etsy. Pinterest. Yeah,
Pinterest.
Pinterest. People are doing that, and they're getting a ton of feedback from it. Like people are watching people's trailers on there and everything. And I haven't done that. I tried it. I don't understand it. I keep running into like Jules and people making crocheting sweaters. And I'm like, how do you fucking put a movie on here? I have no idea how to do it.
Every time I see anything on Pinterest, I get clients that send me things that they see on Pinterest. Oh, I want my kitchen to look like this.
Right.
And I'm just like, I'm so sick of seeing these pictures.
Yeah. And then it goes open in Chrome or open in the app. And I'm like, oh, the fucking app for God. Anyway, but people are using that as another platform. So there's all these free platforms we have to reach out to people. That's all I'm saying. So you got to figure out how you want to do it and market it. I feel like I'm talking a lot today.
That's okay. I'm actually letting you talk because the more you talk, your cynical's going away. So
that's never going to go away. It's in my bones. It's in my fucking bones. All right. So how are we doing on topics here? We talked about a lot of stuff.
We are talking about a lot of stuff.
We talked about micro budgeting. We talked about self-distribution. We even hinted on Amazon Prime. We did some other stuff too. How we doing? What's the matter? Why are you looking at it like that? The recorder?
I was looking at the recorder to see we were sitting on time. I forgot to look at my watch before we actually started.
Oh, how deep are we? What are we doing?
I don't know. I was trying to look at it, but then you asked me what I was doing, so I had to answer you, so I had to come back around.
Oh, you don't have to answer me. It's fine. Yeah, we're going to be doing some ads on this stuff too pretty soon. All right. Yeah. We're doing some ads and all kinds of shit. I love the podcasting though. I love this.
Sitting here on a Saturday with a cup of coffee, talking to your buddy.
Yeah.
Now, see, we do this every day.
Yes.
We don't record it every day, but we have daily conversations every morning on your way to work. I've already been working for a few hours by the time you get in the car. But
Yeah. I actually sleep.
I sleep.
Yeah. A little bit.
90 minutes strong, man. I'm good. Be making a wooden horse just like the guy in Elf.
More like a Trojan horse.
Why? Where do I gotta go?
You're hiding. So you got something hidden inside of you that wants to come out and blow everything up.
Well, ever since I was young, I never really slept all the way through the night. I get to a point, obviously, you get to a point of exhaustion where your body finally gives up and you sleep.
Why are you so tired? Why are you exhausted?
Because I don't sleep very much. I mean, even no matter what, through the day, through the week, like say typically through a week, I will go to bed around 11. Mm-hmm. Say between 10:30 and 11, but I wake up in the middle of the night between 2:30 and 3:30.
How do you break that habit? You have to break that habit.
I'm 45 years old. I don't know.
You got to do it. I mean, you stopped smoking. You don't smoke cigarettes anymore. You broke that habit. How can you consciously break the habit of not being able to sleep?
I don't know, because when I'm asleep, I can't make myself stay that way.
Something's triggering you. Is it kind of like the alarm thing? Like that internal clock that everybody has? Like, even if I don't have my alarm set to get up in the morning, I'll wake up at that time anyway? Is it like that feeling? Like you have to get up? Jesus. You have to get up at like 3 o'clock or something in the morning? Just automatically you just wake up?
No, I don't know what it is. I mean, that's just it. I mean, when I was younger, it's not like I had, as we're getting older, you have to get up sometimes and go to the bathroom now in the middle of the night. But sure. I don't even have that issue very much. It's just a matter of the fact that I just wake up and, by the time I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm hot.
Sweaty?
Just a little bit. Not in any kind of good way, so stop smiling. I mean, I just woke up. I'm just like, I'm a little warm.
Moist?
Don't say moist, especially with these mics. Let's wait till we get the better mics before we say moist.
Moist. That's good shit.
Don't ever say moist.
But no, I don't know what it is. But yeah, by the fifth or sixth day, then usually I'll sleep better through the night, and then wake up, and realize, oh wow, I slept in. Like this morning. You said, what time did you wake up this morning? I was like, dude, I slept in. I got up at 5. I woke up at 5:30.
Yeah. And
got out of bed at like 6:20.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, dude. That's how I live. I'm used to it.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I snore now. I fucking snore now.
You've always snored.
I don't think I have always snored. How would you know?
I used to live down the hall from you.
I didn't snore.
You snored.
Bull fucking shit.
I'm the guy who only sleeps a few hours a night. You snore.
Did I really snore back then?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Bro.
It was like, what, 16?
Sam, stop laughing, you son of a bitch. Did I really?
Yeah. It's not, I mean, everybody makes fun of my snore because it sounds like there's a freight train coming through the house.
No, I know you would snore, but I never heard you snore back then. You didn't snore then? Or did I? Oh, wait, no. I know why I didn't hear you. I actually sleep. Jesus.
That could very well be.
So I really did snore, though.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear me down the hall.
Yeah.
And Sam, I sleep next to you.
Sometimes it was down the hall, and sometimes, I was just listening at your doorway just to figure out if you were awake or not.
Yeah. That's what I deal with, Sam. You see that shit? That's that bullshit right there. That's that bullshit. Anyway.
You are a sound sleeper, Aaron.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I guess I've always snored. I didn't know you knew that, so I thought that was interesting.
I didn't know you
didn't. I didn't know. I had no idea I was a snorer.
It's not. You're not a like I said. You're not a heavy snorer. Like I said. If I fall asleep on the couch,
Yeah.
I'm a freight train snorer. Everybody's like, go to bed. You're so loud.
Jesus. Is that just age? Is that just getting older? I mean, you know more about this. You have more like physical ailments than I do. So what? Well, you do. You deal with like things that I don't deal with.
Physical
So
ailments?
you would know more about snoring. Like, why do people snore when they get older? What's that about? Teach me something here while I drink the rest of this coffee.
Everybody is different. For me, I have sleep apnea, and actually, for me, it's one of the things is the way my jaw is positioned. So when I fall asleep, my mouth opens when I breathe because I can't breathe through my nose because my jaw relaxes back and it pushes my tongue farther back into my back of my throat.
How'd you figure that out?
Tests and years of having people tell me what to look at and what to focus on.
So you went to doctors and they said,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, like you said, I'm the broken one. I've been going to the doctors for a long time.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no. If you focus on where your jaw sits as you fall asleep, like I would focus on keeping my jaw pushed forward.
Okay.
And I could breathe through my nose. But as I relax more and I'm laying on my back, as I relax more, I can feel my jaw actually sit back. And then after my jaw, after I fully relaxed, I realize my tongue is actually slid back in my throat.
That's nasty.
I mean, it sounds really weird if you're sitting there focusing on it.
Right.
However, you just realize, it's your body. You realize what it does and how it moves.
Okay.
But the more I relax and stuff, so yeah, that's why I open my mouth to breathe, because it actually is cutting off the back of my esophagus. And that makes you snore.
We went from like educational, like helping filmmakers, to snoring. And that's okay.
So if you're a stressed out producer right now, you might want to look into getting a CPAP machine to try and help you sleep those 3 hours that you're actually sleeping in.
Are you trying to get a sponsor right now?
I wouldn't hurt getting a sponsor.
I know. Sam, what's so funny? What are you laughing about?
I was just thinking about that snore I did the other morning.
Oh, yeah. Dude, no. She was... I'm getting ready for work. So I'm in the closet. I'm getting stuff. I turn around. I put my shirt on the bed, She's sleeping. Now, Sam sleeps on her back most of the time.
Okay.
But when she sleeps, she always sleeps with her mouth open.
Okay.
Never a sound comes out of her, except that morning. She just went out of nowhere. And she fucking woke up and was like, yeah, I heard that. I know, yeah, I heard that. She did, dude. It scared the shit. I had one fucking leg in my pants, and I stopped pulling it up, like, what the fuck? Oh, that's not me. It's a dog. It was funny. It was so funny just to see her wake up.
I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that's like if you fart in your sleep and it wakes you up. I've done that before. I fart in my sleep too, by the way.
From the smell or from the action?
Know. I think it's because I think I shit myself. So it scares me. And then I wake up like, did I poop myself? And then I'm like, oh no, I think I just farted. And then you look over at, I look over at Sam and just make sure. And she probably acting like she's asleep, but her head's turned the other way. I'm sure her eyes are fucking wide open. I mean, she's laying there like,
and watering.
Oh man, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I don't bodily functions. They're just the way it goes. Yeah, that snore was funny though, Sam. Yeah, babe. All right, well, snoring. Let's move on. So what else we got to talk about today?
Well, we covered micro budget.
Yeah, we did.
Everything else that goes with that.
Yeah, yeah, we did. The podcast. This was a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. We're gonna get guests. We got to start getting a plan together to be able to get a system rolling so that we can schedule people. But I don't want to do that either because I know we don't have the tools yet. But we don't even know how to fucking use Zoom.
Well, I don't even know if we want to use Zoom. I mean,
Skype. I mean, it's a pandemic, bro.
I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but no, just
be safe, bro. Like your mom said, be safe, honey. Are you being safe?
Honey, being safe? Yes, Mom. I used protection when I was talking to Aaron from 6 feet away.
Yeah, we have to be 6 feet away, because you're pretty large. I'm so sorry. When I'm talking about, because he's a big man. He's just a big guy. He takes up a lot of room. I wasn't talking about anything else.
You could just go up. You don't have to have your hands go sideways. I'm not a big man, and I'm not a big round man.
I didn't want to go this way or that way. It's not girth or anything.
Thank God we're not on video.
No, it's fine. Anyway, Yeah, but there's a pandemic, so we got to use that stuff.
No, I realize that, but you listen to podcasts more than I do, and you even said that some of the Zoom podcasts and everything that you've been listening to have a lot of sound issues. So I'm thinking that if we were going to go that
the
route,
dogs. Yeah.
if we're going to go that route, I'm thinking that one of our first guests should be our good buddy, Mr. Audio himself, Kelvin Galoza.
Yeah, we'll get him in there. He'll help us.
I think we should make him one of the first so he can help us work out all the bugs
kinks
before we
and
get
bugs.
started. Yeah.
And if we waste a lot of his time trying to get this set up, we won't feel bad.
Well,
I might a little
we
bit.
can't waste his time. We make him laugh
Well, we do make him laugh.
a lot.
Yeah. Kelvin Galoza. He's a music composer for film and video games.
Yes.
And he's done major projects, Hollywood projects, from trailers from like Batman versus Superman to Spider-Man Homecoming, the new Spider-Man movie as well.
Yeah.
Chronicles of Narnia. He's been doing ghost music for all types of big films. Won Academy Award for Pirates of the Caribbean in the music department there.
Yeah.
Bunch of video games. So.
And he's just a nerd who loves movies like us.
Yeah. And he's Filipino.
Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah. I get those confused. He says there's Puerto Ricans that are they're all white down there in Philippines.
Uganda?
No, I don't think he's from Uganda. He's not from Mexico.
No, he's from Puerto Rico.
Right. I mean Africa. Uganda's in Africa.
Did you say he's from Puerto Rican?
No, I could have.
Holy shit, you're loud.
I kept saying podcast last week, so who knows?
That's okay. No, he's a great guy though, and he really elevated us to try to do better on our film, because we're like, holy shit, this guy likes what we're doing, and we're nobody. So, and he's gotten footage from, $200 million movies to score,
Right.
and he's seen that. So why the fuck would he want to help us? And he did.
Because there's something there
Maybe.
between the conversations and the footage.
Yeah, maybe.
There was something worth working with.
Yeah.
You guys played video games with him.
Yeah, we played Ghost Recon too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's one of the
funniest
best game
ever.
nights I've ever had.
Fuck, that was hilarious. Jesus Christ. Just to hear he was fucking laughing his ass off straight for like 10 minutes. I couldn't even breathe. Neither one of you guys could. You were dying.
I think when we do have him on the show, we should do that. We should post pictures with the podcast somehow, and some of our maybe on the YouTube one.
Sure.
Because did you take a picture? I took a picture of laughing. I was laughing so hard.
We'll put him up.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you were dying. Okay, we'll put him up. But yeah, we'll start with Kelvin, or even Sam. We get another mic in here. You can tell the audience how much you love me. That'll be fucking great.
That'll be the shortest podcast ever.
No, I told her if we do a podcast
We're the
together.
longest.
Told her when we do a podcast together, like if I'm talking to her, she's got to speak.
Right.
She can't ignore me like normal, or no one's gonna fucking have anything to listen to other than me talking the entire time.
Well, they might be entertained by the fact of how many questions you can ask before she actually finally responds.
Do you think I get on her nerves?
Do I think you get on her nerves?
Yeah.
Is that her making noises? Or is that the dog?
That's the dog.
I swear to God, I looked at her and I thought she farted. One of those funny.
I thought she
like
was
Samantha Jane.
I thought she was just like,
I thought that too. Too funny. Anyway, guess. So we're gonna get that rolling
Yes.
once we get our gear that you did order, right?
Everything will be here
Is that the
on
dog
Monday.
again?
Yes.
She's
Amber drove away.
Oh,
We're taking too long on our podcast. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure she's got lots of stuff to do. It's Saturday.
let's listen to the dog for a minute. It's good.
Wow, you're gonna listen?
Well, but we don't want to have dead air, so the
Did you?
trick is to
It's okay. I mean, you can still feel a show with dead air. I think dead air is a natural thing to have. It's humorous. People laugh when there's dead air. Like, for example, if I go, "Hey Chuck, why are you wearing a blue shirt, bro?" You know what I mean? I bet you anybody listening to that is smiling.
funny.
But
Right.
people will be smiling. They'll be smiling. It's engaging. Silence is engaging.
As long as it's
That's
not-
why no one likes to be around me, because I don't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. They're like, Jesus, disengage. He won't keep his mouth shut.
Well, you know what? I think it's about time to wrap up this episode. We have
Alrighty.
some things that we're going to need to do
Okay.
to move on with our production for the podcast.
Okay.
So we're going to have to take some time to record some other things.
Okay.
Maybe for some advertisements and things like that. Sorry, the producer and me's coming out and
Yeah,
reminding
you're
us
the
that we
boss.
have
That's
other
fine.
stuff we have to do.
Yeah.
But no, this is just as always, even though there was extremely sarcastic and a lot of cynicism at the beginning of the episode,
Oh, yeah.
this did turn into a very good little laugh riot at the end, and I hope it was informative enough for everyone.
I think it was. I hope so. Anyway, but okay. So now we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Breaker, whatever that one is, and Pocket Casts. We got our YouTube page up. I posted it on there too as well. So
awesome.
yeah, I mean, we're trying. That's all you can do. Get it out there.
Keep doing what you can and stay creative and be productive at it.
Absolutely, buddy. All right. We good?
We're good.
All right. Well, thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Aaron.
You want to close the show out this time?
Thank you, Aaron. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Sam, thank you for sitting in here and being entertained by us doing our podcast thing. And everyone out there listening in, thank you so much for joining us around the reel.
Bean footage. Don't know what's wrong with
And the laughs keep on going. Thank you for joining us on Around the Reel, a podcast that's brought to you by Anchor. You can find it on Apple Podcast.
and all the major podcast platforms. Also, find these guys at cccentertainmentgroup.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
And remember to watch The Outrider on Prime Video.
See you next time.
Maybe.
Bye.